Hi, and welcome to More Human, More Resources, the HR podcast for entrepreneurs. I'm Vicki Brown, your host and CEO of Vidamaneo Enterprises. As a serial entrepreneur, I understand that having the right expert help has been critical to my success. That's why I'm dedicated to telling you, in plain language, what's going on in the world of HR that might impact your business and what you need to do about it, with real actionable tips to help you master that list of must-dos and grow your leadership muscle. First things first, the information contained in this podcast is provided for general purposes only and is not to be considered legal advice. Your decision to adopt or not adopt any practice or procedure mentioned in this podcast is solely yours, and we bear no responsibility for the outcome. We urge you to always consult legal counsel and other appropriate licensed professionals. And with that, let's get into the show. You're listening to Season 1, Episode 23. In this week's episode, our question of the day is how to manage employees in a small business. You know, small businesses are great. They're nimble, flexible, and team members get to be close to the action and see the impact their work has on the business. And for the leader, the close contact with the team enhances the feeling of all being in this together. But while many leaders know there are vast differences in managing in a large organization versus a small business, they often question the best way to manage employees in a small company. In this episode, I'm going to give you 4 important points to keep in mind when managing in a small business. Number 1, get the right people in the right seats. In an earlier episode, we talked about how to get the right people in the right seats in your business. That should be step number 1, because without the right people, the other steps just won't work. Another note, be very careful about hiring family and particularly friends. Remember, at some point, the role of friend and boss will be in conflict, and you'll have to make the difficult decision of which one you need to be. I'll give you a hint. It's boss. Why? Because you have to think about the jobs of more than one person here. You're the leader of the business, remember? And keeping it healthy and successful has to be your number 1 goal. Otherwise, everyone loses. Number 2, don't make HR an afterthought. I hear all the time that we're so small that XYZ doesn't apply to us. Well, banish that phrase. To your team, the company is huge. It provides their livelihood, and they've taken the leap and put their trust and commitment in you and the business you've built. You may be boutique in size, but you're still a business, an employer, and your obligations and responsibilities still matter. Also, to the regulatory agencies, you're never too small. You know what they say, in for a penny, in for a pound. If you have just 1 employee, you're an employer. So oh, I knew she was born here, that's why we didn't do an I-9 authorization form for her. Or, well, if anyone gets hurt, I just send them to my doctor and pay for it. There's no need for formal workers' compensation insurance. Or, well, you get the idea. None, and I mean none, of that is going to fly. And remember, huge fines hurt huge businesses, but they wipe out small businesses. So make sure you get it right from the very beginning. Number 3, communication, communication, communication. Don't assume everyone knows everything. Communicate everything you can as often as you can. You may not be the open book manager type, but you can still communicate well. And remember, as you grow, not everyone will hear or weigh in on everything like they may have in the beginning. So make sure you put a process in place to keep everyone in the loop when they need it. Trust me, assuming it will all go just fine is a recipe for disaster. And while we're talking communication, make sure you deal with employee issues right away. Be clear on your standards and that there are consequences. Now, I'm not advocating that you become mean mommy, but standards without consequences for failure to follow them, well, that means you don't have any standards at all. And sure, incentives are great. Model the behavior you want, praise good behavior when you see it, but I still say no consequences, no standards. And number 4, Be friendly, but not casual. Another phrase I hear often is, we're just like family. Everyone will always want to pitch in and give 150%. But your team isn't your family, and you aren't theirs. And they don't want to be treated like your family. They want steady paychecks and clear responsibilities and a solid path to career development. Remember, this is their livelihood. Making the company successful and being treated well isn't a casual issue for them, and it shouldn't be for you. You're the leader. Act like one. You can't just blurt out everything you're feeling all the time. They need to see confidence, stability, and optimism. Don't lie, but be aware of how you are being seen. You're the coach, and a coach has to motivate, have a plan, and be confident that everyone can successfully execute on that plan. If you found this information helpful, please leave a review and tell a friend. Thanks for spending the time. Until next week, same time, same place.